Ever feel like your career path looks less like a straight line and more like a kind of confusing, winding map? Well, it turns out that for some of the world's most innovative thinkers, that's not a bug at all. It's a feature. Today, we're going to look at how getting just a little bit lost can actually be the secret to some truly groundbreaking discoveries. All right, let's dive right in. Now, what you're looking at here, it isn't a map of a country. It's not from some fantasy novel. This is a map of a career. It actually charts the 19-year research journey of a scientist named Dr. Oliver López-Corona. And it's a voyage through these incredible intellectual realms with names like the Crags of Abstract Theory and the Silva Ecologica. But the scientist behind this really epic journey, he didn't see it as some kind of triumphant march, not at all. He described the whole thing as this incredibly hard but amazing adventure. His words were, "I constantly feel like climbing a sand dune." You know that feeling, right? You take one step forward and the sand just slides you halfway back.
So what do you even call a path like this? I mean, it's a journey that leaps from the super abstract world of statistical physics all the way to hands-on ecological fieldwork. This path was so winding, connecting fields that almost never talked to each other, that he actually needed a whole new term just to describe what he was doing.
And he found the perfect description in a concept from mathematics, the Levy flight. So imagine a special kind of random walk. You spend a whole bunch of time exploring one little area, in really great detail. Those are the short, clustered steps. But then, all of a sudden, you take this massive, unpredictable leap into completely new territory.
And this map just brings that idea to life so beautifully. You can literally see the short Levy flight tracks all clustered up within one field, like ecology. But then you see these dramatic red lines. Those are the long jumps, and they connect totally unrelated worlds, like a leap from abstract theory right into the middle of field biology.
So feeling like he was always climbing that sand dune, he started to wonder, was this really difficult, meandering path actually, worth it? Was it productive? So he turned to a pretty unusual collaborator. He asked an AI to analyze 27 of his research papers for novelty and innovation. The AI's conclusion was, well, it was stunning. It analyzed his entire body of work, and it gave him an innovation index of 98.8%, almost a perfect score. That struggle, it seems, was really paying off. So the big question is why? Why was the score so incredibly high? Well, the AI found that a staggering 85% of his papers, that's 23 out of 27, were pioneering. Now, what that means is they were the very first to apply a concept in a new context. He wasn't just following trends, he was literally creating them. And to put that 85% number into perspective, a typical pioneering rate for academics in similar fields, it's somewhere between 50 and 70%. So his rate of generating truly new, novel work wasn't just high, it was exceptionally high, and it was directly linked to his non-traditional path. So here's the kicker. The AI basically revealed that the struggle of the journey, that constant need to learn new methods, new vocabularies, new ways of thinking, that was the very source of his innovation. So let's actually look at how he connected these worlds. Let's check out a few of his amazing intellectual leaps. Okay, for example, he took the concept of anti-fragility. This idea from finance that some systems actually get stronger from chaos and volatility. And he was the first person to formally apply it to ecology. He argued that healthy ecosystems don't just bounce back from stress, they actually need a certain amount of it to thrive and get stronger. He also challenged this big term, the Anthropocene, which kind of blames all of humanity for our planetary crisis. Instead, he proposed the Technocene, and this reframes the whole problem. It's not just humans, but the human plus technology combination acting like a whole new evolutionary species, a technobiont, that's caught in an evolutionary trap. And this next one, this is my favorite. It just brilliantly illustrates the power of this kind of thinking. He took models that are used to understand how animals, like spider monkeys, search for food, and he applied them to geology. By treating water particles like they were little foraging animals, he explained these really complex patterns in groundwater flow that the standard models just couldn't capture. How cool is that? So what's the big takeaway from all this? From this incredible intellectual adventure? What can we all learn from a career that looks more like one of these Levy flights than a straight, predictable line? The key takeaway is really this. A career path that feels difficult or inefficient or maybe even a little chaotic, that might actually be your most powerful strategy for innovation. That friction, that struggle of connecting different worlds, it forces you to think in new ways, to use analogies and break out of fixed mindsets. That's what creates the spark. It really is a feature, not a bug.
And this whole journey leaves us with a final, kind of provocative thought. Maybe true innovation isn't always about digging deeper and deeper in one single spot. Maybe, just maybe, it's about having the courage to take that long, unpredictable jump into somewhere completely new. So the question is, what worlds could you connect?